You know those all about me assignments that probably drove you nuts as a kid? And if you didn't have to do those, dude, good for you. When I had to do those as a kid, it drove me bonkers because I could never pick. I could never decide what my favorite book was. I couldn't decide what my favorite food was. And please don't ask me what I wanted to be when I grew up. Now that I have kids that are going through this same thing, it's excruciating watching them trying to figure out how to answer these questions, especially when a teacher throws in the word ever. Now, if you are my child's teacher and you threw in the word ever, I still love you, don't worry. It's just something that is a huge struggle for my humans and for myself. And I think probably for most adults, trying to decide what we like, who we are, and what we are going to be when we're 7, 11, and 14 is really, really hard. When a lot of adults don't know that about themselves yet. So I thought I would take a little bit of time to dissect this, talk through it. I even made Google Slides. So this is your all about me Google slide assignment using Google Slides. So here we go. So your all about me assignment. Usually this entails having to talk about yourself. You have to talk about what your favorite color is, maybe why, and all of these great questions that I love as a legacy person. It's talking about storytelling. But when it is packaged into an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper or in a Google slide that you have to go in and fill out, it is a little bonkers. So let's dig into all about me. Okay, so this, I just took a quick screenshot. I Googled all about me assignment, Google, and all about me assignment, and this is what popped up. So you can see that there's a lot of different options. There you can draw pictures, you can fill in the blank, and that all depends on age groups. Now, what I didn't see is what we usually deal with as adults, but we're going to get into that. So you got to hang out in the video for a little bit longer. So this is what you will find, what you'll see. If you have humans, you may have seen a few of these. What's happening now with everything being online is that teachers are actually having to put these into Google Slides. And I'm so proud of them. It's really hard. And I love seeing what they have figured out how to use Google Slides for and how to use these different platforms to help kids talk about themselves and do storytelling. Now, I know, and you probably know, the spirit of the All About Me assignment is to get the kid talking about themselves, but also to kind of give the teacher a crash course in what they like, what gets them excited, and a way to get to know them, especially when kids aren't going into the classroom right now. So it's harder for teachers to make that connection, to build rapport, and to really be able to find out about the humans they're teaching. So that's, in my opinion, what the spirit of the All About Me assignment is. So let's look at some of the specific questions that come up. This is the one recently that took our household by storm. So choosing your favorite book and using the word ever. For one of my humans, if you put in ever in there, it is so hard to answer this question. They read voraciously. We're talking a full-blown 200-page chapter book every 3 to 5 days. And that's slow. When they are really rolling, it is a lot faster than that. So for them to choose their favorite book ever is nearly impossible. So we had to go talk about exactly what I just shared about what the About Me assignment is and following the spirit of the assignment, and that choosing your favorite series or your favorite book right now, or the one that you are the most excited about right now, that is a perfectly good answer. But when you take things literally, it is really hard to answer this question. And I think for adults, it would be really hard to answer. I shared with them that it was really hard for me to answer as an adult, and I couldn't answer it right now. So when you're talking to someone in a storytelling conversation and you're asking them about their favorite book, remember that how you ask matters. So using something like ever is like, it makes it really one way or the other. It's like yes, no, road, no, no road. So be careful and aware of the words you're using and how you ask. You never know what the other person's processing standpoint is. You don't know how they are what's going on for them that day. And I'm not saying that you need to be perfect in how you ask the question, because I know that if we get hung up on perfection, then we will never ask the question. So just be aware that how you ask matters, and being intentional with how you ask will make all the difference for your storytelling moments. So let's go on to, what do you want to be when you grow up? OMG. I still don't know the answer to this question. I get to practice it a little daily with Legacy. I get to talk to people about storytelling and death and dying and what storytelling can look like at every stage of life. But when I was 11, I mean, maybe I did know what I wanted. I think I wanted to be president, honestly, when I was 11. And then at some point I decided, I don't really want to do that. But what do you want to be when you grow up is one of those questions that is usually paralyzing for people. They don't know how to answer. They're worried they're going to get the wrong answer, or that there is a wrong or right answer. They maybe aren't sure what the teacher wants to hear, or what the other person wants to hear. So all of those things happen when we're looking at All About Me and that particular question. So I like to reframe this question of that it's something that we get to choose every day. We get to be something new every day. We're not the same person we were yesterday. And there's always an opportunity to try something new, to go on an adventure, and to be something else. And you can decide to do that at any point in your life, or multiple times. So let's dig into next. What is your favorite food? So my favorite food when I don't remember how old, my answer was always spaghetti. It was always spaghetti. So I want to know what your favorite food is. That can go in the comments or wherever you're watching this video. Tell me what your favorite food is. So it was so much spaghetti that my first email address actually had spaghetti in it. It still does. If you ever get my PayPal address, or you ask me for my PayPal email address, it has spaghetti in it. But when we choose our favorite food, usually it's attached with a feeling, an emotion. It's something that a family member shared with us, or a friend shared with us, or an epic moment that we remember, and that's what we attach that food to. So then when we eat that food, we feel all those feelings over again. We feel all of those moments over again, which I think is really amazing, that that's how our brains and our bodies work, that we attach emotions and all of that to just specific things and tastes and smells and feels and all of that. So what is your favorite food? Again, for a storytelling moment, this is one of those questions that you can go in so many different directions. Favorite food is pretty broad, actually, in a writing and storytelling sense. So maybe your favorite holiday food, that might be a little more specific for people to be able to actually choose. So I found that when we ask questions that are open-ended like this, and not too wide, that it's hard for people to answer. So if we ask favorite spicy food, favorite sweet food, usually their answers will come a little faster. So that's just a note on that. Let's see what's next. Are we ready? All right. What do these assignments look like as adults? So we talked about what the specific kid assignment looks like. Let's talk about, what do these assignments look like as adults? Most likely, no one's going to hand you a piece of paper that has All About Me written up across the top, where you have to type in your name or write in your name, and then fill in, stars and hearts and boxes. Although that would be cool. I may start doing that for when I start interviewing people. But as adults, we have to do resumes and cover letters. This is pretty much the adult version of the All About Me. Just as paralyzing, just as terrifying, and just as concerned about how we present ourselves and how we tell the story. So your resume and your cover letter will tell your story. So I'm not going to give you too many suggestions in this particular video. If you want more information on this, I will put probably a link to another video down below if you want to go find that. But just recognize that the spirit of this is also the spirit of the All About Me assignment. You're letting someone, in a really quick glance, who you are, what you love, what you're good at, and maybe what you want to be when you grow up. All right, what's next? Dating profiles. So I'm going to be completely honest. I haven't really had to fill these out. I got I'm still married to the same person, and we met each other when we were teenagers and got married as teenagers. So that is a whole other video. You can go watch that one another time. Maybe I'll put a link to that in the comments too. But dating profiles are your all about me version of the most excruciating thing you could ever fill out. There are always people looking for help to fill out dating profiles. Again, same thing. It is just a story about you. Is it the thing that's going to make or break whether or not someone clicks? Maybe. So getting help if you're not sure how to answer the questions is totally advisable. I can tell you from a storytelling perspective, if you are intentional and truthful and talk about yourself in a way that is genuine and shows that you care about yourself as a human, you're going to be fine. So a storytelling moment that you could have with someone else, if you wanted to ask, is has someone ever filled out a dating profile that went horribly, terribly wrong? Or if they clicked on someone who had maybe a good looking dating profile they were excited about, and then it went horribly, totally, terribly wrong. There is also a whole slew of questions with worst dates. That's a whole other blog post. But dating profiles, that is an all about me adult assignment. So next we have social media profiles. Social media profiles are basically the all about me of the adult world. So we have to, on multiple platforms, fill in all the bits and pieces about ourselves, what we like, what we don't like. And same thing, it is just a snapshot of who you are. It's not the full picture, obviously. And it could vary from platform to platform. So I answer these questions differently on Facebook than I do on LinkedIn. And the same thing goes for our storytelling in our lives. When a child asks us about our favorite trip, the answer we give the child is probably a lot different than the answer we give our best friend or we give another family member who's an adult. So the point about this is that what is the point? I've lost the point. The point is that it's another about me project, and it is something that you can work through and explore and try and use different words and change. Everything is evolving. We're allowed to evolve and change. So don't get hung up or paralyzed on these social media profile fill-ins. It's your story, and you get to decide what it is. Let's see what's next. Medical intake forms. So this is another adult version of the All About Me page. Medical intake forms are literally the worst. I never quite know how to fill them out because I know most of the answers, but a lot of the times I want to share information that just isn't captured on the medical intake form. And it depends on what kind of intake form you're filling out. So again, they're trying to get to know you in a snapshot, but it's also an opportunity to, what I hope someday is that there will be other questions besides the obvious medical stuff. I want to see questions that will help a caregiver or a doctor connect with me, will help them build rapport with me, and that matters to a practice, and then that matters to a practitioner. And so that's my hope for the medical intake forms someday. Until then, I just, we fill them out, and that's what we do. This is coming up, and I included this because it is something that I have to do a lot on a varying levels, and that I'm hopeful someday that legacy recorder questions will actually be on medical intake forms, so that when you fill in an intake form, you will see a legacy inspired question. So this was like, if you see this and you're creating medical intake forms, let's have a conversation. Anyways, let's move on. All right, so create a storytelling moment you can build on. The way I've laid out the legacy recorder questions starts with 5 W's, and then it goes into digging in deeper questions. That's what I call them. So these are questions. The first questions are ones you can create a storytelling moment that you can then build upon. So like I was talking about with the favorite food earlier in the video, same idea. When you start with questions that someone can easily answer without thinking too hard about it, it gives you more room and space, and it allows them to have more energy to answer more questions. And if you are a note taker or you're able to just remember things, then later down the line, you can reference that conversation or say, hey, I remember that you really liked this. Can you tell me more about that? So when I talk about creating a storytelling moment, it's looking at your everyday moments and seeing how you can create a storytelling moment within that. It doesn't have to be a special day or a special time or something you schedule. You can have storytelling moments in each moment. And that's where 5-minute storytelling comes in. So 5-minute storytelling gives you the tools and the words you need to start storytelling moments that you can build on. You can find more information on that in a link in the description somewhere. I think that's most of it. So, yes, that is the end. Check my slides. Oh, that's terrible. I'm not editing this video, so you can just sit there and laugh at me. So the end of this is to go check out 5-minute storytelling. Whatever video I'm suggesting is going to help you check that out. So check out the suggested video that will tell you more about 5-minute storytelling and what you can expect in that world. So thanks for hanging out. I hope you enjoyed the Google slide all about me assignment and what that looks like for adults. Now, I am going to end this video right now. You ready? I hope you have a wonderful, incredible day. And until we talk again, happy writing.